was something that we never have experienced. I hope we never, ever, ever experience it again. But nobody plans for a pandemic. I lived in Florida. We had plans for hurricanes, and we knew what months to kind of plan for them. But this was a new one for all of us. And what we did with it was really, it was come at you with all kind of challenges, some we had never um, anticipated. And so typically some people get paralyzed, or some people get ready to fight when they have unusual situations. It's that fight or flight that you hear about a lot. But it's okay, we didn't know. This caught us off guard. So it kind of shocked ourselves, and how we all handle it. I think it's good to make a note of what we learned about ourselves during it. Do we have a delayed response of, is this serious? Do we believe this? Um, do we trust the vaccines? Do we trust what people are telling us? But the reality of it was, all of a sudden, we had some major restrictions. We could not do and perform our jobs. And I'm kind of talking about jobs tonight, first. But we had major restrictions of how we were living. We had different kind of fears. I mean, I remember saying to somebody, my biggest fear was, would I catch the flu and have to be out of commission for a week? So I would make sure I had assistants or my team lined up so they could carry on without me while I was, out of commission. So the flu was kind of the biggest thing I could think about. We had different kind of fears. Let's be honest, all of a sudden, for at least some period of time, we had no clients. You could not, even if your clients were begging you to come and do a job with them, we were on lockdown. And depending on where you were, were you considered essential or not? So here we are, we can't have any clients. Our schedule is zero, and we have no plans. It's like, I live by this calendar. Guys, I love that Todoist app, and I know exactly what I'm doing between the calendar and that app. So all of a sudden, I have no plans. Let's face it, we all had no money coming in unless you had some rental furniture out. Um, but our bills did not stop. And all of a sudden, we kind of like, what is happening? We just slowed down our habits, our thinking, and we were kind of, out of whack. So I used to say, I am going 90 miles an hour. If you want to shop with me, wear your tennis shoes. You are welcome to. I, of course, will not say no, but get ready to move. And so here we were all of a sudden, and what was 90 miles an hour, and juggling clients, and can I figure out how to work only 6 days versus 7? And it's like, I can't get out of the driveway. So the speed was different. So I don't know about you guys, and I would love to hear what you say. And I'm going to kind of look at what we're posting right now too, and on Zoom, if we have any comments. I would love to hear what you guys did, but I went through my closet. I tried on everything in there. I did the Marie Kondo it. I had folded my pajamas like they've never been folded. I labeled bins in my refrigerator. Here's the breakfast bin. I mean, it was it was very unlike me. So, but I still was trying to keep that speed up. Um, but I wasn't getting to do my normal routine. I didn't have that camaraderie that I normally had with my clients, even my vendors. I mean, I've got these awesome movers, and we just have this nice banter. We didn't have our normal fears. Like I said, we had different concerns. We only wanted to do homes where they were vacant. And honestly, I'm so missed that creative outlet. I mean, in my house, I mean, I knew I was in trouble, honestly. I don't know about what your family guys, But I knew I was in trouble when my husband said, let's just knock down this mantle. This is a big stone mantle. I'm like, no, we are not doing that. He goes, well, let's paint the house at least. What color can we paint it? I'm like, I like this color. So honestly, he painted the whole interior of the house the same color. So, thank you. But at the same time, I realized we all needed some kind of creative outlet in this crazy time. Um, so we were cut off with what we could normally do, although our speed was still 90 miles an hour. And then slowly and slowly, we went down to like 10 miles an hour because you couldn't do anything. You could, I mean, I'm ordering my groceries online. And then pretty much I felt like we were in park. I jokingly said, I almost feel like I'm in reverse, but we weren't. But it's just our world got shaken. And so now, thank goodness, we are seeing some progress. Our world is getting vaccinated. And, in fact, I was talking to a friend today and she said, oh my gosh, I'm going out in public. I've got pajama bottoms on the bottom. I've got a stain on my hooded sweatshirt. I'm in these goofy shoes. And by the time she listed everything that was going on, I'm like, do not get out of the house. What was our creative outlet, whether it was jewelry or even having a creative top or whatever it might be, we lost the ability to even do that. So here is your, get up, get dressed. I want you to show up and show up protected. Make sure you're protecting yourself and everybody else. But this is the way that we're going to get paid. We did learn to pivot, and that was such a big word. I said the other day, if there was a dictionary word that's going to be spotlighted this year, it's probably pivot, because we heard that so many times. And we all did have to pivot with how we looked at our business, how to help our clients. Clients still needed their house to get sold. But now is the time we're going to get up and get dressed and look good, put on deodorant, and, get paid. I thought this was really cute. I literally Googled motivation and this popped up. You know, take time to relax. I don't know about you guys, but I've had enough time to relax. Sleep, rest. Okay. Hygiene. I mean, do not wear the stained shirt. Your environment, unplug if you need to. I mean, really, there was so much of doom and gloom on the television. And I just thought, oh, this is depressing me. So I had to limit that. Be positive, have fun, take it easy, meditate, breathe, go outside. That was the safest place, in a non-populated exterior that you could, what you could do, but stay calm, which was a challenge in itself. So I did a little research, and so here's some tips that Forbes and I are going to share with you. We still want you to set goals, stay motivated, which, okay, yeah, that was tough. But hopefully, you got some motivation from Joanne and me on these, our webinars on Wednesday. Watch for burnout. I kind of thought that was interesting when I read it, because it was like my idea of burnout pre-COVID is totally different than burnout now. Burnout was like where we don't have time to hardly eat. We're rushing. We are juggling too many clients because we can't say no. You don't feel as creative as you should because, you got a lot going on. But burnout in COVID was very different. It's like we just got burnt down almost because we weren't getting our normal feed of creativity. Brainstorming, I love sitting around a table. I mean, my first job was with an advertising company in Dothan, Alabama. And I will never forget my first brainstorming session where we sat around that table, and it was a free for all. There was no judgment. Throw out your idea. Nothing is crazy. Nobody will look at that, roll their eyes and like, that's stupid. But at the end of that brainstorming table, that round table, we would come up with the most creative marketing and advertising ideas. And I learned to so value that. And now we're doing it on Zoom. We're having to do it like this, which is why I love when you post stuff. But, at this point, we got to get the ball rolling. Shake things up. What shakes it up for you? I mean, do you need to take a hike? Do you need to learn to do something challenging or creative? Um, and keep learning. And I have to say, this was encouraging to me because I was on YouTube so much. I learned, all kinds of stuff on YouTube. I mean, that is like, okay, I don't know, I'm going to YouTube. But I mean, our online classes, it was encouraging. And we would get messages like, I really have always wanted to take, mm, for instance, a seasonal decorating class. I just was so busy, I didn't have time to add that service. So many of you took advantage of this time. I don't want to call it, the dead time, but it really was. And it was encouraging. And that's what kind of kept me creative. Just what else can I learn? And, how can, what hairstyle, what product? I mean, the whole gamut. But it was, what we needed to hear during this time. So here was a few more tips. This was a different article, but look for opportunities and, what truly makes you happy. I mean, most of us love transforming a space. Whether it was, painting a room, we could get some paint, whether it was changing out pillows. But what makes you is learning. Does learning make you happy? And the other thing was, this was a comment, and this was on the Forbes article that I read, was speculation with hard data. And so the first thing I thought about was, we're hearing these alarming numbers, and then we're hearing what's coming down the pipeline for our vaccination options. And I don't know about you guys, but we didn't really get an option. It was like, oh, you got Pfizer, which that was fine. But, this was a time to really look at our data with our businesses. Gosh, I thought I made more money in, for instance, let's say it was staging, or, oh my gosh, I surprisingly made more money in color consultations or bookcase being under the bookcase line item. And so looking at your data will give you a lot of insight. If you say, I heard somebody the other day go, I really don't like staging. That's okay. And then when you look at your numbers, if your numbers don't say it likes staging either, then fill it with something else. Breaking down these barriers. I have been wanting to know more about e-design or getting more proficient with Zoom. So breaking down the barriers that hindered you from bringing on more clients or hindered you from, because I don't inventory furniture. So learning e-design or actually getting some really good e-designers in my vendor list, that was something that needed to be done. I really want you to be empathetic, and we all are, but staying positive and empathizing with our clients and our friends. I don't know about you guys, but I had some challenges with that. I mean, I have some amazing friends, and some are, the sky's falling, the sky's falling. But, staying connected with people is so important, but staying connected with positive people, I think, is even more important when we're in situations like this. And celebrating your wins, celebrating we got through something. Gosh, I learned a new skill. So that form of celebrating is so important too. Um, so let's talk about your clients now. We are, knock on wood, whatever, we are really coming to what I see this, hopefully the end, or at least the end of this year that has hindered us like nothing else. So we need to bring our clients a reminder. We need to get off the couch. We need to clean up. We need to remind our clients, if you might have been reminding a few of them, but you need to now reach out to that public. And if you're new, kudos for you for getting through starting your business at the worst time. But it's time to remind your clients and your potential clients what you can do for them. You need to bring them the message. So, hello, I'm here. How are you going to do that? I do know there's a little bit of a comfort level, kind of hiding behind these Zoom situations. Listen, it's not always comfortable for us either. You can question your content, your looks, your professionalism. You can question anything, but you need to let your clients and your potential clients in your area know that you're here, what you do, that you are good, you're certified, you're always learning. And listen, one of the beauties of this time is we didn't get so radius focused. We're not in a 10-mile or 20-mile radius. The world was our oyster instead in sense of who we could help. So your blogs were a great way, and hopefully you guys wrote a few. Um, you know, being present in social media is still a plus. I mean, now you're top of mind. Picking up the phone and calling your clients or your potential clients and saying, how are you guys? I hope everything's going good. In fact, this just hit me. I'm going to tell you guys. Yesterday, I got a call. Now, I had both of my kids get married in 2017, and we had this awesome gal help us with throwing the bridal showers, and she was just so valuable to us in keeping, everything organized so that we could visit with the guests. And I got a phone call from her, and she said, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me, but your mother taught me this awesome tip about drying off the coffee cups in the dishwasher before you take them out, because water would sit there and then it slings everywhere." And she goes, "Your mother taught me to just dry those coffee cups before I take them out." And I just did that. And I thought, I need to call and check on her. Now, this was 2017, y'all. But I'm thinking, what a great, heartfelt message that I got from somebody that long ago that shared something that was meaningful to her. So pick up the phone and call your clients. Oh my gosh, Mary, I'm just thinking about when we ordered those, graffiti wall words, and it was my first time putting them up. Are you still enjoying those, or have you changed and done something different? I'm just checking with you. I mean, so many things you could do. Um, so emailing is great. It's better than nothing. But think about how you feel when you get that heartfelt call, like I just described, or a handwritten note, anything to let that person know that you're thinking about them. And it doesn't even have to be a client that you have already had a connection with. It could be a potential real estate agent. I just met one of my neighbors and she's an agent. It could just be a reach out to her. So connecting is awesome, but I mean, who does not like a gift? So we found these really fun leopard masks. In fact, I was going to show you guys, but I forgot to bring it in here. But if you can find some fun mask that remind you of that client, or if it is a particular football, baseball, whatever team, just send that handwritten note with that little gift. It could be a hand sanitizer or hand wipes that you got from the Dollar Tree. They've got some really good Purell hand sanitizers, but you could put your logo on them. If you guys were at one of our RISA conferences, we gave out these really cute rhinestone, they were round mirrors. Looking forward to seeing you again. I want you to see the new trends, and then give a link to a webinar, or you could send them a Zoom invite. These are ways to kind of go above and beyond to connect with your clients. Also, don't underestimate why they hire you. You help their spaces look better, you make them feel more at home, um, give them that happiness in that space. And goodness knows we need that extra little happiness right now. but you also educate them. And even though they may never do anything you tell them in the education category, you do come across as being willing to share. I had a client and he would call me the educator decorator. And I thought, okay, that's good. But they still called me for everything. But educate your clients. This is a good time to be willing to share, but it also makes you feel willing. You're there to help them. Big postcard from Vistaprint, super economical. Have a Zoom event. It can be a watch party. It could be, hey, you may bring up, rock this block or something. If it's on exteriors or whatever, it would, but more importantly, if it's something that you can lead and educate them on, it's better. Update them on what's happening in the market. If the real estate market is something that, you think your clients are interested in, maybe share your top 3 Amazon links for sprucing up your house during a quarantine. These are my top 4 pillows that I like. I mean, it could be all kinds of stuff. Um, Offer a 30-minute consultation on whatever. If you took the certified bookcase specialist class, in fact, Steph and I were just going over a few bookcases the other night. This would be a great way for her to connect with clients who had bookcases. And a lot of us have non-fixed bookcases. I mean, well, there you go, right there. Whether it's fixed or non-fixed, hey, I'm offering a 30-minute consult to share some tips on bookcases. And now you have also let them know that you have a new certification. Offer, one client something, whether it's, hey, I'm taking one client with me to market this year. You're responsible for your own expenses because that could be pricey if you're not near a market. But if you're in Atlanta, take one of your clients to America's Mart and let her be your guest for the day. Um, so here's a great way. We still have a few days left. It ends the end of the month. If you want to take advantage of the $100 off the bookcase specialist class, it is a certified class. Therefore, you're going to get the directory listing. And you can use the code We Love Books, and you get the 100. You put it in the cart. It'll put in the code We Love Books, and it'll take the $100 off. And let me make sure I don't have any other questions. Um, okay. Okay, perfect. If anybody has a question, oops, excuse me, let me just go. Okay, so okay, great. I'm glad. And I'm going to check our Facebook page. This is a lot to keep up with. Um, so let me just make sure we don't have any other things going on here. Okay. Guys, again, if you want to hear a certain topic, reach out to Joanne and me, and we will do our best to make sure we put that on our list of things to cover. And thank you guys so much for joining me.